Well, good morning to y'all. You can hear the dogs barking. And we got railage in our sky. That would be the western sector. Look at that nice, long rail. Got some little puffs underneath it from previous railing. Straight up. Popcorn effect. Looks like popcorn. Anyway, I'm Joseph Kleider for AscensionPathway.com on the Evan Payne YouTube channel. Bringing you another episode of Grid Work. Geoengineering on a daily basis. Today's the first day of March. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at this rail. He's heading to block that sunlight, and that's not the only thing. Got another guy back here who went the other way. Look at double rails. Get double railage amongst all the popcorn effect. That's what you see up here. Looks like popcorn or powder puffs. Back in the eastern sector, nothing but plasmatic soot. It's all white already from previous spraying. Back here, you got a making of a euphumbolus, but not quite yet. It's got to settle down a little bit. Over here, still in that western sector a little bit. Got some leftover puffs. Again, we want to document the snow still lingering on the Mingus Mountain. The fake snow, all the plasticizers and stuff, it just won't melt. It's been well over 80 for a couple of weeks now, and 70s for a couple of weeks. I mean, that should all be gone. Northwestern sector, you can see already rails built back in there. I got a rail up here. Guy left there. You can see the white soot already falling out of these cloudoids. Or powder puffs. See the white soot just falling. Since when do clouds just fall in the white soot? Back here you can see double railage. Look at the double railage back there. Triple railage. We got triple rails right there. Look at the triple railage through the trees. Up here leftover soot from previous chemtrailing. No need to say any different. We know it is. Oh my gosh. And look what we got up in our sky right now. As we speak, look. Right under the phone line. If it is really a phone line, we don't even know anymore. Got a railer right up in there. Look at him spray the plume. I'm going to back him off. Reel him back in. He's out there pretty good. But you can see the damage they've done already. Look how it's already whisked out over there. Pretty nasty. Forgot to show you this in the southern sky. I'm going to linger right under here so the sun doesn't get me. You can see the white soot just falling out of the sky. Look at it. Just white wisps falling from the sky out of the chemtrail activity. Oh man. Well, it's about 11:45 on this first day of March 2016. You can see all the drippage of the white soot already dripping from the trails. Look at this guy's rail back in here. See, it's just not gonna ever stop with this program unless we stop them. Oh my gosh, look at this. We almost got a Medusa in that southern sector. Medusas usually don't rise out of the south. But if you can see, as I pan around into that western sector, the Medusa is expanded. It's probably even bigger than a Medusa if you look at it. And look at this guy up here just blowing this long rail right into the existing plume. He's headed right for that wisp. My God, look at him. And now he's right into the existing plume. They'll build up some cloudoids. That's how they build them up. Nice looking rail too. Nice looking rail. Look at the wisps come down here. They're almost finned wisped. Look at that. Wow. Finned wisps. They just fall from the sky. Look how that's all breaking apart. When are gonna people realize that clouds don't fall apart into wisps like that? All part of their learned helplessness. Check out this leftover rail. Christmas tree bulb effect already broken apart. But look what's next to him. Yeah. Guy side by side railing up another one. And that looks like a CIA evergreen air. You can tell by the plume. Looks like a single shot nozzle. But if you look close enough, it's actually two streams into one. Northern sector, the wisps have already dissipated and it's fallen from the sky. It's not even noon yet and look at this tanker. Look at the unsymmetrical plumage. Look at the nasty plume. Look at it just spew out of that tanker. 4, possibly 5 if you count that little nozzle in the center that you don't usually see. Look at the plume. And just look what's coming over here. None other than a CIA Evergreen Air to cross the grid. Oh yeah, see the little teaser plume? And then the tanker's 4 different plumes out of that tanker, and they just mix those plumes together right there. There's a perfect understanding of how they cross the grids. There's a perfect look at that tanker rail. We'll take it downstream here so you can see how it's all breaking apart into the chain link effect. Tankers are known to do that. Red bad boys seem to carry that plume too. It's in the plume. It's not in the wind vortices or anything like that, or how the wind's coming off the wings or the tail clip. No, they're different plumes. Just look. You can see the different plumes in there. Look at the nasty. To think otherwise, it just, well, you know how I feel about it. Look at that wisp there. But that grid is really something how they got that thing. Look at that plume that way. Oh, yeah. Just check out these wisps. Take you right inside. Look at that. Look at the nastiness of that plume there. Look at how it's all dripping apart. Get a load of this. We got chain link effect. Pretty prevalent in our sky right now. Look at that chain link. Well, wait till I show you where it's going to lead to. Look at that busted up chain link. Look how long it is. Look at the friggin' chain link effect. Look at the nasty of the plume. As I take it step by step. Look at the one side is straight, the other side is curved. That's why we call that the chain link effect. Don't be fooled by thinking it's crow's instability. That's not the case here. Because we're too far away from the jet itself. As I get closer to the jet, you'll see how it all stabilizes back into the set of rails. And just look at the plume this tanker has left. Oh, look at the nasty plume. Right over the zenith of our skies. Oh, and look how low he is too. What a nasty tanker. Back on the tanker now. Let me show you. You can see the shadow rail ahead of him. Can you see the shadow rail? It's almost as if it's predetermined, guiding him where he's supposed to go. That's a nasty tanker. Oh man, where's our military? It probably is a military jet. I have to hide myself from this white sun caused by the aluminum reflection off those nanoparticles to get this guy. It's hard to make him out. In that plume. It's so plumy. Well, we got one right after another, 12:30 in the afternoon. Look at this guy blowing this rail. You can see the shadow rail. They've been guided by shadow rails. See the dark rail next to it and in front of it. Oh man. More spraying at 1 o'clock. These boys are not giving up at all. They're gonna keep on railing, keep on railing, keep on railing. Look at that rail. He also crossed the grid over here. You can see the X marks the spot. Picking that up or not? Doesn't really matter, does it? We're being plumed to death here. We'll probably just sit here in this one spot all day and just pick off these railers one by one as this guy adds another rail to the existing railage. See, he's heading right for that other rail. Pretty obvious. Look. There he goes. The X marks the spot as he crosses the grid. Oh man, they got a beautiful grid going today. Look at that. You can almost count the different X's this guy made. Look, you got one, you got two, and he's going right down the line, connecting all these rails all the way down to there probably. But going back to the rail, you can see the Christmas tree bulb effect. See? There's the Christmas tree bulb effect. Then it changes into this, because that's a earlier rail. That's what the Christmas tree bulb looks like after it starts to disperse. So then you know what we're talking about when we say the Christmas tree bulb effect. So we get a look at our western sky just a couple seconds later. You can see the sky is almost completely white from the spraying. Mixed to sun white when it should be yellow. Rails everywhere. Even way back in there we got rails. We got this railer. Look at him. You know where he's headed? I'll show you. Right for this grid line. They're just going to continue to make the grid. Look, there's a line hidden in there. All kinds of rails just about everywhere. This guy laid a real nasty rail too. I'm in the shade so I can bring it to you a little bit better. Here's the beginning of his rail when he first came into the picture. And look at what's next to him. Already a dispersed rail. So they're just non-stop, continually rail. And look how this is already bifurcated and the double rails there. See, and then his third rail alongside. Real nasty. Anything to block that white sun, make it whiter. It's just too bad the kids growing up nowadays, they just have no idea of what the sky used to look like. Because these guys have contaminated it with all these rails. Just look at this rail this guy put in our northern sky. Just spun it enough and then left it. The whole sky's covered up pretty good. Now we got this guy right next to him blowing this rail. Let it focus. It's really hard to even make out who these jets are because the sky is not even blue anymore. Look, friggin' gray. Check out this menagerie of X's and crosses and rails and you name it, it's in there. Look at that, how they forked it off. See that? Trying to make up a cloudoid. Pretty nasty. Back here too, you can see the X marks the spot right above the tree. If you look where the tree is at, you should be able to see the X mark. It's kind of faded because everything's so white now. The only blue we got is back there, and that's periwinkle blue at best. The rest is all covered in chemtrail soot. Look at that shit. There's a guy up there spraying as well. Just never gonna stop. Look at that. Whole sky completely gray, should be blue as they continue to spray this toxic waste in our skies. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. The sky's completely gray. Haven't been to the gray wide open yet. You can see how gray the sky is from the spraying. Look at it's already turning black on the bottom. Oh my gosh, that's frightening. It's fake snow, still lingering on Mingus. Guy just hit a rail right in there. There's a hidden rail. So now they're hiding him because the sky is so white, you can't see him. You can see the rail laced into there. Oh boy. I'm gonna take a break for a bit, come back in an hour or two. I'm looking into that eastern sector, 3:45 p.m. Just look at the blanket of soot. No fluff, just plasmatic soot. No frequencies, you don't see any finned work. You see a little bit of wisps up here. Back that off for you. Little wisps up there. Up here, complete white soot. Leftover rail over there. Yeah, I guess you might even call these fins, or maybe it's just breaking off the edge. Can't really be sure. Panning around, you see the disaster. What's that western sector? Medusa's already built. Huh. I finally made it to the gray wide open. Here's your sunset. Here's the soot from all the chemtrailing in that eastern sector. Look how it's all just filleted right out. Panning over into the southwest, you can see the layers already turning dark. From white to black really soon here. It's gray right now, but it'll be really black soon. Panning around into that southern sector, all that haze is, we may have a making of a euphumbolus up here. It almost is Medusa-like, but not quite a Medusa. It's just too, I don't know what you'd call it, un-Medusa-like. And look what we see here, right in the heart of that soot. And that's why it's white. Oh my gosh, as I pan around, back to the euphumbolus back here in this southeastern sector. That thing looks like a big euphumbolus there, but not quite. It's got some imperfections there. Panning around, this almost looks like a Medusa in the east, the way this is all whisked out here. So I guess we could call it a Medusa. That northeastern sector's all kind of grayed up already. And the northern sector, just nothing but thick soot that's already starting to turn black. Over here in the northwest, well, still white. Look at this. Guy had a rail up in here too. See the rail? Just adding this to confuse the people to thinking these are clouds. Haven't people had enough with this facade? I may come out here for one more segment. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But in any event, in your face. And then over here, see what I'm saying, in your face? The guys are just not going to stop railing it up. Can you see him in there? Should be down in here railing it up. There he is. See? Once they get it thick enough, you can't even see him. That's how they fool you into the thunder making sound. We already know the red bad boys make the thunder. Look how that guy's trajectory has changed so they hit each other's grids. See? Look. Come on. Further evidence of the grid work. Doesn't take a genius to find out. Just observe. Well, you know I can't just stay away. We got a silver bullet blue bottom blowing a rail right now. See if I can reel this guy in for you. Nice blue bottom. Probably a blue tail. This is the time the blue tails come out. We'll have to take a look on the big screen, see if that tail is blue. The rest of the wisps are all falling apart. The rails, everything. Look at that. That's only one little sector. Turning around, here they come. Here come the blue tails. Oh yeah. You can tell by the way the plume just pours out of there, or the nozzle configuration. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at the rail too. Let me back it off. Look how it's spit and sputter, spit, sputter, spit, sputter. What, you can't make a straight rail? Come on. Then in that northern sector, it's already starting to turn gray. I got out a little late, but I got the low lux on and you can see the pink hue or orange hue, whatever color is coming out. On my viewfinder, it looks kind of pink. But you can see back here, that's gray, black. So we call black. Back over here in that western sector, it's almost all falling down now. Look at that pink soot falling from the sky. As it drips down here, you can see it's already turning black. It went from white to pink to black. I'm sorry. I don't accept that. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.